arrested for obstruction of justice. I have a photograph on my Facebook page of my daughter obstructing justice with her hands cuffed behind her back with a couple of SWAT team members on either side. Such as obstruction. Why don't you talk about that since you were actually in cuffs?
Well, it was very surprising actually, because as he said, we had a great relationship with the police. Our permits had been no problem. They were renewing every week. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, our permit had not been renewed as we expected. We had, I think, about 3 hours notice to clear out a camp that had been there over a month. So that was obviously impossible. And all of a sudden the police showed up in riot gear, even though, like I said, we've had a perfect relationship with them before that. And the city workers had showed up to try to start clearing out all of our stuff that was in there, and we were just trying to get in there to help them clear out that stuff out, which we had been told we would have that opportunity, and we were not allowed to do that. And we were arrested for trying to enter a public park during the day, I might add. Don't ask me to explain it because I don't understand it.
Ridiculous.
As they say on television, but wait, there's more. Some people were drawing a sidewalk chart on the sidewalk in front of the Confederate monument, and the charges were brought for defacing a monument. So anyhow, long story short, we spent an awful lot of time during the winter months fighting off a bunch of frivolous suits, almost every single one of which we have won, and most of the charges have been dismissed. But it just goes to show the desperation to which the hirelings of the 1% will go to try to enforce
directives.
Thank you. Yes, the Directors of Homeland Security or whatever. Now, when the camp went down, a lot, talk about morale went in a dumper. We were disorganized, and I would say there was a great deal of infighting. Personalities rose to the fore, and there was just a lot of this and that, and some of it had merit, some of it did not. We had personality conflicts, uneven communication, the entire bouquet of ills that afflict any organization, especially a leaderless organization. We had certain people that we thought were even sabotaging some of our events.
Yes.
We had personality conflicts. I mean, and how do you sort this out? I mean, somebody urges you to, put a bandana on your face and act like a member of a black bloc. I assume they're from Homeland Security.
Yeah.
The state has an utter and complete monopoly on the tools of violence, and we're going to do what exactly? Okay, so enough about that. So toward the winter months, toward November and December, we sort of scudded sideways, and then we had a series of brainstorming meetings in January with the purpose of just sort of like rebooting. Okay, what are we doing? Who are we now? Because some of the people had clearly fallen off, and they were no longer part of the group. People tend to cycle in and out of group. We've all seen it. We've all experienced it. So
we really had to redefine ourselves now that we no longer have this camp. We really had to figure out what our mission statement was going to be, and if we didn't have, like I said, these people that had been so attached to the camp, they had left. So we really had to remake our mission.
So, yeah, we did. So,
yeah, exactly.
We had this brainstorming thing. We did this facilitated thing to try to figure out what are our top priorities. Number one priority for Norfolk was organization. That's what the people said. We would get organized. So we had an organizational task force that met over a mind-numbing period of months. 2 months? 2 months, it only seemed like 6. So, and long story short, what we did based on a lot of research, and a lot of writing, a lot of soul searching, a lot of arguing about details, came up with a proposal for a spokes council for Occupy Norfolk. And we brought this proposal to our General Assembly. It was consensus upon, and just in the last week or two, we've actually implemented that. Whether that goes, I don't know, but it's something, and it's where we're going to start. The whole idea, in short, of the spokes council for Occupy Norfolk is not to supplant the GA. The GA remains the ultimate authority for everything that we do. It's simply to expedite getting stuff done, and the part of this whole
you
thing.
got an elite cadre.
I was about to say.
Yeah. It's all about the elite cadre.
The first time that I heard what was the secret
elite cadre.
The Occupy Norfolk secret oligarchy.
I guess we all have them, folks.
This proposal is basically cobbled together with the whole idea of these people are sort of the servants. of the people. It's about servant leadership, and if you can't wrap your mind around that, you need to not be on this group. It's not about ego. Ego is what brought us to this point.
Yes.
It is, you know, a point that I have made, and one of our strengths is we are now, the people that are here in attendance and other people that we have left behind are trying to put ego behind us, and we've got to, because ego has basically put us aside. Everything in our culture urges us to be number one, be all you can be an army of one, you know, win, win, win. But when you start to invert that, look through the other end of the telescope, that's when we start to think about how can we cooperate in common. And from there, that's where our priorities start to emerge. Anything you want to add on that?
No, I was just gonna talk about like, some of the problems that we've run into in our particular area is just that where we are, of course, all the military that is there, and we've had that steady, sure influx of government money. It's kind of made us into this little bubble down there where people are a bit insulated about how bad it is for the rest of the country. And two, the military people, a lot of them are very conformist, they're rather conservative, and then the ones that kind of do see where we're coming from, they feel like they can't come out with us because they're afraid it'll affect their jobs or things like that. So those three things working together, it's very hard to break through for people. I know myself, my husband's retired military, and we are really taken care of. You know, we got that secure paycheck coming the 1st and the 15th, medical care, everything. We don't have to worry about a thing, but what about everybody else? You know, my parents, my family. And so we've been trying to talk to our military friends, say, hey, look around you, you're gonna retire one day. You gotta think about the rest of the world out there, so, thank you.
Well, we hope.
So we're going to land this plane here. One of the things that, I think probably the strengths that we have is we've gotten down to a core group of people who really see things in a similar direction. We don't have a whole bunch of outliers. Another thing that's a strength of Occupy Norfolk is persistence. We are made up of some stubborn SOBs. We're not going to quit. We're not going away. We also have a great deal of diversity. We've got, you know, old farts like me. We've got my daughter's 20. She's an occupier also. Sometimes she shows up. But